We're back on Omaha Beach, boys. 200,000 modern American soldiers are currently defending. They've got a very large battleship at the very front here. On top of that, they've got AC-130s in the air with new floating technology. They've got ghillie suit snipers as well as more modern soldiers in the bunker systems. They've got 20 nuclear missile systems, just tactical nukes, so smaller. M1A2 Abrams over this way, and they do have some of the Sea Whizzes over here. So 200,000 total American units versus every medieval army. 10 million of them, actually 10,050,000 of them coming on in through the waters of the English Channel. This will be incredible. If you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, comment down below. Let's get it. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. Okay, now every single time we have done this battle, the US Army or the modern armies have always won. Even the World War II armies seem to almost always win. They might have lost one time, but for the most part, guns always trump the ancient armies that invade on D-Day. This time, we really balled out, though. 10 million soldiers. We've got archers, we've got crossbowmen, we've got Knights Templar, we've got Mongolians, we've got Egyptian soldiers, French soldiers, English soldiers. The whole shebang is coming on in here, along with catapults, too. There's some of the catapults right there. So a lot of units are coming in for the medieval army here. Definitely the most we've ever brought. Of course, many end up dying before they even reach the beaches due to a glitch in the game that we call Crush. It sucks. It's gonna happen. So the defenders get some freebie kills, actually quite a lot of freebie kills. But hopefully 7 to 8 million of these medieval units will end up making it onto shore here. We've got the large battleship over this way, which should be firing, but we actually have the catapults firing into it already. I know this is a World War II ship. It's not even American, but it's still fun to have this thing on the battlefield, and look at those guys getting torn asunder by that massive battleship, and wow, the catapults just full yeeting rocks in there. That is very, very cool to see. Oh my goodness. That thing's probably going to go down relatively quickly, I'm guessing. Probably not long for this world. Over this way, we've got the US soldiers firing away. They're trying their hardest here. They're trying their hardest, and they're getting away with it. Catapults, though, are hitting them a little bit here. The more the catapults hit them, the better off the medieval army will end up being. At the moment, we have 25,000 dead medieval units, and we have a mere 50 dead Americans. That guy just got launched. Did he die? No, he's back up. What a legend. Launched 20 feet in the air, gets back up, and keeps on fighting. That's what I'm talking about right there. The Isaiah Thomas of the medieval units, or the modern units. Let's go. All right, more catapults are coming on in here. They're going to be hopefully doing some serious damage to the American units here. They need to be. They're the most powerful medieval unit that we have got. The other thing that's going to be crucial is going to be the crossbowmen as well as the archers reaching the front lines and getting shots off. There are, I think, about 3 million we ended up putting on the battlefield, crossbowmen and archers, so hopefully they can do some damage. It looks like there's quite a number of them over here firing into the corners of the US Army. That seems to be the easiest place during these battles for these guys to get in here. So they're able to fire into these guys, getting some kills. That's very nice. Medieval units have lost now 100,000 soldiers, and they have now killed 225 US Army soldiers. So not too horrible. They're not exactly doing amazing or anything like that, but at the very least, you know, they're getting kills. They're not doing nothing on the battlefield right now. And hopefully they can continue to increase their kill count as time goes on here. It looks like they did end up taking out the battleship over this way. They're no longer targeting it. It's not necessary anymore. But the catapults aren't really making it close enough, it seems, to get their rocks off. We need more... That sounded wrong. We need more medieval units to get farther forward to distract so the catapults don't end up dying right away. It doesn't help that for some reason the AI chose to have the catapults going in at the very middle section. If they were on the flanks, they could be doing a lot better. Actually, how's the right flank doing? Is it doing kind of the same as the left? Yes, in fact, even more dead over this way as those arrows continue to pour on in. That's a good way to do it, but we still don't have contact from any of the actual melee units on the battlefield, and that's what we're looking for. In order to achieve victory here, I think we need the actual melee units to reach contact. I don't think the archers can do it alone. That's not going to work. So the archers need to whittle down the U.S. Army, and then the melee units need to get in there and start delivering some final blows. We have 328,000 medieval units dead right now, and 1,600 U.S. Army units dead right now. Here are some of those tac nukes going out there. They're pretty powerful, they're pretty nice, but they're nothing like the actual nukes in UEBS 2. I will say they're good for probably like 10k kills at a time or something like that. It is very helpful, but it's not going to be like a massive game changer or anything like that. It's probably the equivalent of like having an additional 5,000 or 10,000 U.S. Army soldiers, infantry on the battlefield, something along those lines. And they take quite a bit of time to reload as well, which can be a little bit less than helpful. So we've got now almost 3,000 dead modern U.S. Army soldiers and about 500,000 dead medieval units. Not too bad. All right, why don't we time-lapse the corner here to start, because I think this will be pretty interesting to see, as that corner is going to get whittled down by more and more archer fire. Let's get it. Alright, so some pretty decent kills for the U.S. Army here. They're up to 1 million, although there's only 8.2 million remaining medieval units. So clearly about 2 million have ended up dying on the battlefield right now. But the medieval units are doing pretty well themselves. They've got almost 14,000 kills at this point, and their units are getting closer and closer to maybe striking out against these modern armies here. The middle is just like not happening though, which is really frustrating. I thought the catapults might punch a little bit. Also, by the way, I have no idea what this gray wall is. I've literally no clue. These guys aren't firing, so it's a solid wall. Well, some of them are. That's curious. Okay, maybe it's not a solid wall. It's some weird glitch. I don't know why it's here. I just forgot to mention it earlier. Tried to get rid of it by removing certain units and stuff. I couldn't figure it out. Oh, these medieval units are so freaking close, man. So close. I mean, it's good because it's distracting the modern army a decent bit so that more archers can get their fire in versus getting shot up. So, I mean, that's pretty helpful right there. Yeah, we're up to 16,300 dead modern units. Again, I don't think a modern army, I think a World War II army has lost on the beaches to an ancient unit. But I don't think a modern army in particular has ever actually lost to this. They've come very, very close, but it hasn't happened. So maybe it will happen this time around. We've also got some medieval units just now starting to split off and head towards these areas over here. Now, these are significantly smaller battalions of modern U.S. Army soldiers. Very, very small compared to the big boys on the beach over there. And of course, they're going to be able to be a little bit more accessible to the medieval units over this way. Might be harder for these guys to stay alive than the boys over that way. We'll just have to kind of wait and see, though. Let's do another time lapse of these guys sniping from the towers up here, though. That would be kind of cool to see for a little bit. All right, the battle continues. About 7 million medieval units remaining, and they are just now starting to get up this way towards these U.S. Army soldiers over here. Maybe they'll get some swings in there, some of these Knights Templar. It's actually mainly Knights Templar leading the fray over this way, as well as a few English men-at-arms and French Pullman and some Mongolians over here too, it looks like. Over this way, these guys they're so close. They're so close to getting there, but they're just not quite. They're just not quite. Very frustrating, but I mean, hey, at least the archers are doing their job and picking these guys off bit by bit. At least the system seems to be working. It's probably far more costly than if they could get into melee combat, but when you can't, you can't, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is a strategy. It do be a strategy. Oh no. Yeah, there's gonna be so many dead medieval soldiers by the end of this thing. Even if they do win, it's gonna be so brutal, man. 30,000 modern US soldiers killed. That means 170,000 remaining, and we now have 6.8 million medieval soldiers. I have a little overlay thing at the top right for my recording software, and it basically tells me my decibel levels of my voice, as well as the amount of time that I've been recording and the FPS I'm recording at, as well as my remaining storage space. And so that's the reason why I have so much trouble reading the numbers at the top right. And why sometimes I'm off by like a factor of 10 when trying to read the numbers. So I hope that explains it for those of you wondering. Ooh, we got another little flankaroo over this way of some medieval units. No, still no one's really making it up here though. Well, a few modern units dead over here from archers. The archers are the real MVPs. Without them, this would be a wash. This would be Jover. Alright, why don't we watch these medieval units continue to try this charge over and over and over again. Alright boys, well that time-lapse did result in some connections happening with the melee combat units and the modern soldiers there. Not too bad. Modern soldiers are getting pushed back up this hill, and we've got 60,000 downed modern soldiers and about 4 million dead medieval soldiers. We're looking at about 4.2 million medieval left alive. And the center over here is really starting to fold quite a bit. By the way, these AC-130s do have a hitbox at the bottom, so they can die by melee unit as well as the archers. So don't worry, they're not like invincible or anything like that. Archers, medieval units all coming in here. Still, a few of them getting nuked pretty heavily, but I am getting concerned. 4 million remaining units, probably 3 million of which will actually make it onto the shores. The rest will probably be killed by the glitch. And at this rate, with 4 million troops killing 62,000 modern soldiers, I mean, we're on par to get like 120k kills, which would leave still 80,000 modern soldiers left alive. So right now, we're not looking like the medieval units are going to be able to do this thing. And if they're not, what I think we'll do is we'll get rid of the bottom beach defense and run it again just to see what happens. Because I want to see a different outcome. But I mean, we're certainly seeing work done from the medieval units. They're doing a good job. And I see so many people complaining that I can't balance battles and stuff like that. But you have to understand, the way that I try and balance battles in this, it's very difficult to do. Because what you're looking at right now is already 2 hours worth of recording. Like, I don't think people understand the battles here. Some of them literally take 24 hours of my computer running. Like, in order to balance a battle and get the outcome to be very, very even, I would theoretically have to leave it open for 24 hours to get it exactly balanced. What I try and do is I run it for about usually 20 to 30 minutes and test it out and see which units are really powerful, which units are really weak, etc., etc. Try and add more, take away less. Sometimes I spend like an hour trying to balance things out and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I kind of have to settle for what I think is going to be balanced, and it doesn't always work. So I hope you guys understand, I'm not trying to make a battle unbalanced. It's just that these battles, for you guys, might be 30 minutes because I skip ahead, I time-lapse, but for me, it can be like 4 or 5 hours of my computer running at a time. So it's really hard to balance that. You know, it's not something you can just like snap your finger and be like, balance battle. You have to really know the units very well, and even then, it's still hard. So just so you guys know, it can be tough. And in this battle, I really tried to balance it out by giving them 50,000 catapults, giving them 10 million soldiers total, you know, tons more than we've ever given them, and a lot more archers and crossbowmen to try and give them that edge as well. So that was sort of the idea of the balancing of this. And I am thinking the medieval units are probably going to lose, but I mean, they've still got a shot, so we'll let them ride. And if not, then we're going to get rid of the bottom portion and just see how they do that way as well. But either way, let's go ahead and do another time-lapse. I kind of like the time-lapsing over here of these medieval units coming up the hill. I think it's just kind of cool. Oh yeah, medieval units losing this thing big time. They've only got about 700,000 troops left alive. I think all of them are off the boats now, actually, and they're coming in hot and heavy. They've got 88,000 kills, but at this point, I think the modern soldiers are completely winning this thing. They've carved their way into some of the back lines here and there. I mean, the medieval units have done a good job, but the fact that there's still 110,000 modern units, there's just no chance. There's just no chance. So let's let this tap itself out. We'll time-lapse over here with the AC-130s for fun, and then we're going to run it back without this front line. Alright, so there's still 140,000 medieval units somewhere. God, I really don't know where they are. They're not on the beach. That's where everyone's shooting. Mayhaps they're glitched somewhere? Where are you guys shooting at? Oh, they're the ghillie suit snipers, so they can shoot really, really far. Yeah, I think they're just glitched somewhere, so they're just dying slowly. But yeah, medieval units lose this. They got just about 100,000 kills on the modern units, so let's adjust it to see if they can win. Let's do it. Alright, I didn't end up completely getting rid of this first line because it would have cut the American force in half. So instead, I just made it 10,000 soldiers up front here. And, well, you know, we'll get to really see the impact of this pretty quick, I think. As the medieval soldiers will now have so much less resistance going on at the very front of the beachhead. Alright, they coming out over here yet again, and that's literally the only thing I changed on the battlefield, right, by the way. So that's it. There's 110,000 modern soldiers, and there's still 10 million of the medieval boys on the battlefield. Oh, that's some lag. Oh, we're good. Okay. A little bit of lag. Here come, oh, a little more lag. All right, we're good. Yeah, we're good, right? Don't lag me out of this game, please. All right, here come the catapults, and we do, of course, have the battleship back up here. Let's take control of this sucker. It's got 200,000 health, so it's got decent health. It can withstand a little bit. Is it not firing? Why you no fire? Why you no fire for me? It will fire. I've tested this, but there we go. There it is firing. It just didn't want to fire with me, I guess. That's fine. It rips. It absolutely rips. My God. And we still have the Sea Whizzes and the AC-130s firing out as well. So there will be no shortage of kills for the modern army. No shortage. The only problem is that these guys are probably going to die pretty quick, and the catapults are actually getting shots into them this time around. That's what we like to see for the medieval units, baby. That's what we like to see. Now, if you still want to go with the ending of the first one being canonical, I'm totally cool with that. This is just more for fun to see how the medieval units do against less soldiers on the beach itself. AC-130s spamming out that fire, baby. Spamming it out. And it looks like, honestly, all the medieval units are still going this way. They're all curving this way instead of going out further this way instead. Alright, interesting choice. We got nukes coming in for days here. Beautiful. And right now we're at about 50,000 dead medieval units and 200 dead modern soldiers. Not too bad. While we time-lapse this start here. Honestly, modern units still kind of killing the game here. They're still doing very, very well. Medieval units are actually able to get their melee boys in here now, though, which is really fun to see. Mongolians and Templar Knights actually getting up here and doing the stabby, the shanky. It's becoming Detroit up in here, boys. Okay, moving on. But AC-130s up top, still getting crazy kill counts, and of course, these guys are doing very well. They're doing very well for themselves. The medieval army definitely doing better this time, but they've still lost 330,000 compared to the U.S. Army's 3,700. So I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Modern U.S. still killing the game. How we doing over here, though? This attack looks like it actually just started. So, excuse me, hiccup. Oh my goodness. Not much to report over here, but I think it would be cool to time lapse this assault. Let's get it. Well, modern soldiers still holding up. They've lost their beach line, though, so now everything is coming forward into the back defenses here. Still quite a number of modern soldiers, though, but they are getting attacked by the melee units. That's not a good thing for them at all. If it's just the archers hitting them, like that's acceptable. But the fact that the melee units are getting up here probably means that the modern soldiers are going to be dying out pretty quick now. Man, yeah, still 7 million medieval units left to go. So I think we're probably going to see a medieval W here, but nonetheless, we'll let it ride, baby. I think my cat nudged the camera, so we lost that time lapse pretty bad, but it's okay. He's cute, so we forgive him. Still 80,000 modern soldiers remaining. 2.4 million medieval soldiers have been killed. So the modern soldiers are actually still doing very, very well here. Very well indeed. They could potentially still win this thing, I would think. Although they've still got like 6 million medieval units to deal with. It's quite a bit. It's a daunting task. So I don't know. I'm still got my bets on the medieval units. Some of these nuclear tactical missile systems are getting hit by archer fire, and they don't have like a staggering amount of health, so they might end up going down pretty soon. They're not even firing that much anymore, so it's not too big of a deal. But yeah, let's let this ride. I think this will be cool. This is actually coming down to the wire. 43,000 modern units still remain. A couple nukes still seem to be mulling about here. Medieval units have about, I think it's 1.4 million displaying right there. So medieval units are still in this thing right now. But I think the modern units probably have it at this point. I mean, it's looking rough. It's looking very, very rough for the medieval units, but they could still do it. It's pretty close. Well, boys, still 1.3 million medieval units left alive. 25,000 modern units. Look how big of a flank the medieval units are doing here. I'm almost out of computer space, so I am going to go ahead and just let this ride, and we'll find out what happens in just a second. Boys, I actually can't believe it, but I walked away and the medieval knights won. Are you kidding me? I didn't time-lapse it. Are you freaking kidding me? I thought the modern soldiers were a shoo-in at this point. But there's still a million medieval knights left alive. Modern soldiers ended up killing 5.6 million of them. And there's the number right there. Team 2, 108,833 kills. I actually can't believe they did it. I'm really shocked. I mean, I guess with everything on the board, they were able to do it or something like that. Like just the sheer power of everyone together was able to make it happen. God dang it. I went to go lay in bed and scroll through TikTok, man. That's what I get for that. God dang it. Look at them clearing out the bunkers like absolute G's. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. Well, all right. Medieval units win the second battle. Modern units win the first. Let me know in the comment section which battle you consider to be your own headcanon. Either way, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, comment down below. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.